Sup guys and girls, Giovanni here, and today I'm gonna be talking about Raven's Home, Season 3, Episode 7, Disorder in Court. It's been a long time coming for me to review this episode. Better late than never.
Alright then, on with the show.
So, I'm going to get the plot B out of the way, and that is the story continuation of the selective. As said in my season 3 episode 3 review, this selective thing has an arc, and for the start of it in episode 3, I didn't like it. Well, that continues here. I get that they needed to continue the storyline, but I would have been fine if
Booker and the Bookettes
were not in this episode, or at least they appear at the beginning and then they only appear again until the final minutes of the episode. But I guess that kind of still would have felt weird. But still, all they did was sing at their neighbor's brother's party. And their neighbor, Camellia Henry, never shows up again in season 3. However, her mother, Meg Henry, did. Consistency, I guess. Season 3 didn't have that many returning characters, but I will get to that soon. Here's how I will sum up the selective storyline in this episode.
Okay, kids, let me and Aunt Chelsea talk to Levi alone. Why do they always make us leave?
Now let's get to the cheeseburger and the french fries of this episode. Garrett Garrison finally appears, which I've been wanting since the pilot episode, and for its first physical appearance, not bad. I thought the casting was good. He looks like he could be Levi's father. You know what? I have a thing for British characters. Pause. Play. I would definitely add him to the list of British characters that I like. Anyway, Garrett gets out of prison and Levi wants to do all of these things with his father. But as soon as he gets out of prison, he goes into a business for selling the Shabroom, a copy of the Shemop, in which he never has any time for Levi. Chelsea, Levi, and Raven decide to take Garrett to court to prove that it's a fake. Garrett denies that he copied her, but in the court with Judge Giovanni, who I'll get to later, he confesses that he did. He did copy the Shabroom at the Shemop. Obviously he was lying though, because it was established in season 3 episode 2 that Levi was the reason Chelsea created the Shemop in the first place. Speaking of creating, I still hope that lady creates something new from buying all those Shmops on the cruise. Otherwise, it was just used for comedic purposes. In this episode, I'm glad they kept the crowd track to a minimum, because if they kept saying "aww" every 5 seconds, it wouldn't be impactful. You know what? I can't believe Levi was rich. Was this established back in season 1? I don't remember. Even if so, you know what? This would be cool. Is if there is a flashback episode where we see Chelsea and Levi moving into Raven's home for the first time, and we see Levi adjusting to being poor. This storyline has been done in other media, but I would like to see their take on it, because when Levi in the pilot, Chelsea and Levi has already been there for a while, so they've already adjusted, but I would like to see it. I think Raven's Home did an episode on this too, by the way, but I could be wrong. By the way, yes, I know there would be problems doing a flashback episode because of the age gap, but there could be an easy way to get around it. So, yeah. A few things I would like to say before I go. Raven still hates Garrett, and when Chelsea falls for him, she butts in. Well, Chelsea hates him too, but she still finds him attractive. I like later on in season 3, Garrett is slowly getting a redemption arc and is making up with Raven. When Raven says she hates commercials, is that an inside joke?
I hate commercials.
I know Fuller House did the same thing, so that's why I ask. I've been wanting them to do a crossover for a long time. When Garrett brought this up,
we are going to go out and paint Chicago. It'll be just like old times, won't it, mate?
Well, not really, because we were never in Chicago.
all I can hear when he said Chicago was from Victoria's.
Chicago! Chicago!
Hashtag Victoria's reunion. Can someone from the Raven's Home writers room explain to me why Garrett got out 2 years later and he was only supposed to be in there for 1?
I can't believe that judge only gave him a year.
Also, I would have teased Raven punching Garrett with the two fists from the pilot. Raven will be like, Garrett, I'm about to introduce you to 5 and 10. Last but not least, did the Ravensholm writers mention me? I've been preaching for this episode since season 1. I feel like they were like, okay, how do we shout out Giovanni and thank him for this episode, but without making it feel like we're pandering? So they make up this character named Judge Giovanni, who was never mentioned before, and only was mentioned, 2 more times in this whole season? Raven has a crush on not only Michael B. Jordan, but Judge Giovanni as well. Heck, they mentioned a lot of celebrities in this season. Booker mentioned Idris Elba. I know they watched my Ravensholm reviews. Not all of them, but some of them. Yes, I felt Garrett was gonna come onto the show eventually. But the way he did is what I've been pitching all these years. Hell, if I didn't keep mentioning Raven's new catchphrase, ooh, you're gonna get it, it would have just been a one and done thing back in season 1, episode 5. So, we're going back to this episode. At the time when it first premiered, I gave the episode a 8 out of 10. I was thinking about going with the 7 or 7.5, but I didn't. But now, I was going to give it an 8.5 because where the selective storyline goes in episode 9. But that wouldn't be fair. So I gotta stick with my original score, 8 out of 10. But yeah, get your fingers up and say it with me. Donut. Donut. Bye.